Welcome back to the Grand Slam channel. Today is Saturday, January 4th. We got two special Saturday NFL games. Then we got 9 NBA games. I'm going to go light on the NFL games. I think one of these games, Baltimore's going to rest their starters. If they do play, obviously they're not going to go 100%. They're going to be safe for playoffs. Going against the Browns, I might want to stay away from that game. But as for Baltimore, I am going to be taking Lamar Jackson. As far as NBA, I'm going to focus on that. I did put out plenty of slips on my Discord. Last night, I also put my day one of the Latter Day Challenge. Unfortunately, yesterday, day three did not hit. Garland had one of his worst games, and then Isaiah Hartenstein did not shoot the ball. The prop for him was his RA. But we move on. We moved on to today. Got some good value last night. So let's get started on a couple props for NFL. First one I'm going to be going with is Lamar Jackson. Obviously, I think he's going to have a good game just for the fact he wants to close down on his MVP run. So I think he should have a good game against the Browns. So you can take his passing yards, his rushing yards, fantasy score could also be in play. But I'm personally going to be taking his passing touchdowns, which should be at 1.5. I did got him on other platforms. You can get him at 1.5. But unfortunately, here on PrizePicks, he is at 2.5. He's been averaging about 3 touchdowns, passing touchdowns in the past 6 games. But if they put his Gabi at 1.5, take it. But probably his other best option would probably be his Gabi at 199 or 174.5 passing yards. I think he's going to get 200 yards. I prefer his passing touchdowns at 1.5 when it gets posted. But for Lamar Jackson, we'll play it safe and take his Gabi. Next one is Henry. I know everybody's going to be on Henry today. I'm actually going to stay away from him, or if I am going to take his prop, I'm going to follow DG model and take his fantasy score to go under. DG Fantasy has him at a 54% rate to hit under. The fact that the Ravens already clinched, I don't think they're going to run Derrick Henry to the ground. They're going to let a lot of the role players play. Maybe some of their bench players play as well. So I'm going to be taking Derrick Henry under on his fantasy score. It's a long shot, I know. Usually with Derrick Henry, I will take the over. But given that they already clinched, they're in playoffs, I'm going to be taking Derrick Henry under. Next one I'm going to go with is Joe Burrow. We all know the Bengals need to win to make playoffs. They also need help on other games for them to actually make playoffs. But they're still alive. I think the Bengals come out and show out the Steelers. For Joe Burrow, I think everything's in play. Passing yards, fantasy scoreboard will be best at 21.5. Even his demon at 2.5 passing touchdown is in play. But for Joe Burrow, I do like this game for him against the Steelers. Given the fact that they need a win, I think Joe Burrow will come out and do his thing. Next one is Jerry Jeudy, and he's probably my favorite one on the slate. Receiving yards is in play, but most likely I will be taking his fantasy score at 12. His receiving yards has been bumped all the way from 51.5 all the way to 57.5. I'm going to take his fantasy score. He gets 5-6 receptions. He goes over 50 yards, and he does have touchdown potential. He does have some crazy games in the past 2 weeks. He had 40.5 against Denver, and he had a couple 20s against Miami and KC, two good opponents. So going against Baltimore, knowing that they're not going to be going at full 100%, I think Jerry Jeudy will have a big game. And those are the only 4 props I like, to be honest with you. Jerry Jeudy, Joe Burrow, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, and one more I like to mention. And that's going to be Mark Andrews, 32.5, definitely in play. I'll be taking that. And his fantasy score could also be in play, or even his receptions at 3. You got that push equity. But his fantasy score 8.5, it's solid. He's gone over at 9 of 10. Past 5, you guys are going to love it. Gone over. But past 10, he's gone over 9 of 10. Good target for Lamar Jackson. But for receiving yards and fantasy score, both in play. So these are the props that I like for the Saturday night special. 2 games we got. I will post that Sunday video for tomorrow. Let's head on over to NBA. First one I'm going, obviously, is Colin Sexton. Unfortunately, he is in the popular tab. He's number 1 and 2. Colin Sexton, I took him last night, 22.5. Still going with him, still like it. You can take his fantasy score at 25.5. That's also in play. Given that I already have exposure on his PRA and it's included on my day 1 of the ladder challenge, I'm going to be taking his fantasy score at 25. Expect that to get bumped. Next one I'll be taking is Scoot Henderson. And I took his 19.5 on that ladder day challenge. His fantasy score is not up yet, but once it gets posted, I will be taking that fantasy score. PRA is the best option for him as of now. Sneaky play I'll be taking is Luke Kennard. And I'm going to be taking his PRA. Fantasy score is posted already, so I'm going to be taking his fantasy score since I already have exposure on his PRA. Definitely taking his fantasy score. I don't think Morant is playing. Memphis has been playing great this season. Big in part of Luke. The return of Morant. So the Grizzlies have been playing well. They have a winning record. Possibly playoff bound as well. Next one I'll be going is Bam Adebayo. We all know Jimmy Butler has been suspended for 7 games. So you might want to target the 2 studs for Miami. That is Bam Adebayo. For him, I did take his points and rebounds. Points and assists is in play. But I did take his points and rebounds. His fantasy score is posted already at 42.5. I think he'll go over. Should get plenty of points and rebounds opportunities. The next one is Zach LaVine. PRA is in play for him. You can either take Zach LaVine or Kobe White. Kobe White is best option. Will probably be his points and assists. Zach LaVine, same thing with points and assists. Preferably his points at 17.5. Play it safe. But these are the props I like. Colin Sexton over Fantasy. Scoot. Fantasy, once it gets posted, take that instead of his PRA, but I did took his PRA last night. Luke Kennard is a sneaky play. PRA and Fantasy is in play. Bam Adebayo, definitely in play with Jimmy Butler out. And that rounds up. Forgot to mention about Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero and Bam. If you do take them on separate list. Tyler Hero is definitely in play. One more I like to mention is Kevin Durant. Points, PRA, and rebounds. If you can get his rebounds at 6.5 or at 6, take it. His rebounds and assists, I did take his rebounds and assists. I believe his rebounds here on Price Picks is at 7, so it did get bumped. I have him projected to get 8 against this Indiana high fast-paced game. He had 10 against Memphis. That's a high fast-paced game. I believe Phoenix is playing without one of their starters. I think Nurkic is out. Let me check that real quick. Yes, Nurkic is out. So it's going to rely on Kevin Durant and Booker. It's a big reason why they're both juiced over on Daily Grind Fantasy. But Durant and Booker are in play. But for Durant, I do like his rebounds and assists. His points and rebounds might be in play as well. Carl Anthony is always in play. Past 3 games on rebounds, he's been killing it, almost getting double digits. So you might want to target Towns as well. But these are the 5 props that I like going into today's slate. Mix and match with the NFL slot. Other than that, please like, subscribe, and comment. Appreciate the support. If you want my exact same slips on different platforms, I do have a Discord. The link is in the description below. Other than that, enjoy your weekend and see you guys in the next one.